Kick back, relax, welcome to the Laid Back Life. It's your boy, LaidbackMarco, and I'm coming at you with another video. And I know it's been a while since I've done a video kind of like this. Have uploaded some videos, and you'll notice it's different from what I usually upload. It's kind of scripted and intended for short form content. So, Instagram, it's doing really well there. Um, but that's not what my channel is about, and maybe you'll see more scripted videos in the future. I have a lot of footage from all the traveling I've been doing. I've been lucky to have the opportunity to be a tour guide and travel all over Japan to all these places that I've never been, and um, all the places I wanted to go and all the places I didn't know that were great that I get to go to. So it's been quite an incredible job. But yeah, I haven't been at home to do the things I also like to do, which is, I'm all about video games, music, editing, anime, and all these other stuff that I love to do. And being a tour guide has kind of made it hard to do those things. Not that I don't enjoy my job. So I think I just kind of wanted to give you this kind of podcast style update that this channel was kind of built on. And I always kind of insult the small audience I have by saying, well, no one watches my stuff. The fact is, people do watch my stuff and people do care. And every time I say, oh, no one cares, it hurts their feelings, and it should hurt their feelings. So I just wanted to put together this podcast style episode to kind of return to my roots and tell you the direction of my life and the direction of this channel. So first of all, I've done a lot of reflecting, and I'm really thankful to be in this position in the first place. Even though I'm not the happiest with my current living situation, and you always want more money. Money is one of those things where I'd like to see what it's like to make $100,000 a year, and that's all I really want right now because I've looked at the research and you don't really get any happier past that. So I'm trying to live a healthy life, and I've always struggled with my eczema, and that's a struggle I continue. And paying for my medical bills is something I always have to worry about, and that's something I really realistically shouldn't have to worry about. So whether that income comes from, I'm working multiple jobs, and then now I'm trying to see if I can do some freelance work for video editing. I found a studio that I could maybe want to work with me. I've done a lot of work, so the whole reason I'm in this opportunity, a lot of who have been following close to the channel will know, is I left my job at the end of last year, kind of a year from now, actually 2 months from now it'll be a year. I left my job because of kind of my values. I saw there was inequality, and I voiced my concerns, and nothing was being done about my concerns. So I left, and that was really tough. My cousin, opened up his house and let me live in it. And I've never been so thankful. And it's one of those things where I realized I'm not living up to the potential of my life. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think everyone thinks that about themselves, but I think I got a good head on my shoulders, and it's just learning to kind of harness this energy. Not only harness this energy, but kind of deal with all these deep-rooted insecurities I have about producing content and being creative and making videos like this where I kind of just lay it all out there. Because I think, when you grow up not liking yourself, it's hard to become a content creator. And then you also fall into the trap of maybe making content for the wrong reasons. Now, I think for me, the joy is creating the content and getting technical about camera things and editing and all this stuff that I love to learn, and finally being able to share aspects of my personality via editing or just words. I've always wanted to be a master cipher and be good with my words. And I think one of the people I really look up to, and I think it's funny that I look up to him because I've never met him. And by the time I listened to his lectures, he was already dead. And one of my big inspirations for coming to Japan was was Alan Watts, and he just had such a great way of phrasing the most complex topics and making them sound simple. So that's something I strive for, and I realize I need to do more reading for that. And for me, it's hard to find time for all this stuff that I love to do, and I realized a big gap in my development is organization, not only physically, but managing time and all this stuff. I think I'm good once I sit down and start to focus on something, and once I gain the confidence to actually start, because a lot of times I'll sit around, like even for this video, I'll sit around, oh my god, should I make this video? Should I not? And really, you should just do it, because at the end of the day, it's that's all you can do, right? You can just try your best. Um, so I'm not gonna. So since I've last made a video, I've seen a lot of success, and I've uploaded to my second channel, LaidbackJDM, my adventures following my passion of motorsports and drifting, and it's always been my dream to be a driver. No, I'm not. I tell all my friends I'm not delusional, unless they come up with like some sort of cyborg bodies, and yes, you'll see me in a cute cyborg body if that ever happens. Um, I'm never going to be an F1 racer. I just don't have the time available. I don't have the reflexes anymore. So I'm not delusional in that sense. But there's other things that you can do with motorsport skill that aren't being a Formula One driver, whether it's a development driver or amateur motorsports. There's a lot of other places you can do it, and I've been trying to find ways to not only learn about cars, because you know, I thought I knew a lot about cars when I was in high school, but really I know nothing, and that knowledge hasn't advanced much. Some of the friends I talk to, even my cousin, just knows so much more about the mechanics of cars. But one thing that's always made sense to me is kind of the driving. And I'm not the best driver. I know I can develop, but when I drive a sim, everything just feels right. And when you're in that zone, either pushing for lap times or pushing for drifting, you're in that flow. Everything just feels right. So I did one of those things where I've been thinking about doing it for a while, and I did what I call my logical guy math, which I have a storage unit in Gunma, and realistically, it'd be worth it for me to move into a slightly bigger apartment and kind of get all my stuff out of the storage unit, which I need to organize, and get a bigger apartment that would not only make me happier, but also have parking included. So I'd be cutting, two overhead costs of a storage unit and parking, and kind of bundling that up into a place. Maybe I need more space. And one thing that's nice about having this little apartment is I'm learning that I don't need as much space as I think I do. Of course, I'd like more, but it's making me learn how to optimize space, and I need to do that more as I look around the room, and it's a little messy, but you guys won't see that mess. So, but yeah. So other than developing my driving skills, I realized. So I got my sim wheel, and I want to make more car videos and more video game videos and all sorts of videos, and I just need to sit down and produce it and do it at the end of the day. But I realized instead of paying it's like GoSenN to use a sim rental place with motion, I can be happy with just using that, which I bought a long time ago when I was working in Gunma. I saved up money and I bought a used T300 RS, and so just to develop my driver technique and see where that takes me. I realized that I'll never be a Formula One champion in this life, but one of the things that I realized living with my cousin is when you have your shit together, you can help other people. And he helped me and made me realize if I had my shit together, I could be in the position where I'm helping other people. and not only that, I've had my shit together. We had a big emotional goodbye, and part of that was thanks to 2 liters of beer that I had at Yokosuka Oktoberfest. It was ridiculous. I saw a picture of myself. I'd never been so happy. But I probably will cut down on beer because I think when I'm trying to be a good driver, and I don't see a lot of the drift drivers do this in Japan yet. I want to be in shape. I want to do every little thing I can to be better than that next guy. And this is something that is normal in Formula One now. Michael Schumacher was actually the person that kind of started. Okay, I'm gonna watch what I eat. I'm gonna get in shape because I want every little advantage I can get. And I don't see the Formula Drift drivers doing that here in Japan yet. So any little advantage, I can probably watch what I eat and drink and try to stay in as best shape as I can. But yeah, every little advantage I can get out, I will strive for. But anyway, I had this 2 liter beer. Was happy just carrying this beer, and I had already had a couple beers in at this point. But I had quite an emotional goodbye with my cousin because I realized the way life works is, we hardly saw each other, and we lived only an hour apart. And that's something to say that every little moment you have with someone, that you enjoy their presence is a moment to cherish, especially as the times become lesser and lesser. But I realized if I had my shit together, I could see not only my cousin more, but my parents more. So, Father's Day is coming up, and I think I kind of deny myself how lonely you feel sometimes, being away from your family. But with Father's Day's coming, I've just sent my dad. He doesn't like technology. He's very anti-technology, even though he has a smartphone. That's a side tangent we won't get off on. But yeah, I just sent my dad a text, and it was nice to just even see a text from my dad. So I realized if I had my shit together, I could afford the ticket to fly back and forth whenever I wanted. And ideally, one day I'll work in international business and I can fly back and forth with business and things like that. But I had this vision, this dream, kind of my purpose to be other than to make my Toge Legends app, which is still, I know it'll work, and I just need someone to help me make it a reality and start working towards it myself. That's why getting organized would probably help. But in Formula One, there's not a lot of American drivers. There's one in there right now, but he's kind of struggling. But I think it'd be cool to create a program in my home city where we use sim racing and sponsors and with go-karts to develop drivers starting from, drivers who had never had the opportunity, because karting is actually quite expensive. But imagine if you took a bunch of public school kids from my inner city and we made them some of the top drivers in the world. And these are kids that are not having the opportunity. And it's not only that. So we can rope in the kids that maybe aren't into the driving part, but are into the mechanics part and the engineering side of things. So that was something that it's like, wow, if I figure my shit out, maybe in 20 years I can start this program where we have esports racing leagues that also on the weekend there's a karting. So you could do like a mini Formula One in your city where it's like qualifying is is a virtual race, or free practice and qualifying. You use sim rigs and sim racing, and then on race day on Sunday you'll go to the local go-kart track and then you'll use the starting grid from the online qualifying session you've had. And yeah, that would be really cool if you could figure something out. I think esports, video games, technology needs to work its way into education somehow. I just think the people kind of lack the vision and see the or One thing is probably you make more money developing video games than you do developing educational software. But I don't see it. I don't see a reason why you couldn't have both. 'Cause so you could make a really good educational software and sell it to school districts and things and that kind of thing. But yeah, it made me realize if I get my shit together, that's possible down the line. It's just I think for people like me, and I think I'm creative. You get your creative vision, but you still have to live in the day to day grind of reality. I think in Buddhism they have five elements, and it's very much like Avatar. Avatar was actually pretty on point with the earth, fire, wind, water, and the last one is actually void, which I learned pretty recently. But I think a lot of dreamers, we got a lot of water, we're free flowing, our heads up in the clouds, so we got the air covered. We're fiery and passionate about a bunch of things, but the space that we're kind of lacking is that solid type A groundedness that I've struggled with, my whole entire life. My energy just goes off in a bunch of billion directions, and that's why I have this diverse skill set that I do. But I think it's one of those things where I'm lacking that day to day. Like I said on this YouTube channel, that I would do a video every week, and it's just it hasn't happened, and I apologize for the people that do watch this kind of podcasty life journal content. So yeah, so I've been working this tour guide job, and I'm actually getting better at it. I'm getting better at managing people. I'm getting better at talking to people, and getting better at networking. As you saw with when I went to the Clutch Kickback event, I'm still awkward, and I think I use it to my strength now. Awkward, nerdy, and I'm just fully more accepting of who I am. And part of that comes from the belief of others. I think you doubt yourself, and one of the reasons I doubted myself was for a loving reason. Your parents always want the best for you, but the reality is your parents grew up in a different time frame, and they might not have understood the world you're growing up in. And I think I've had this theme running in my life where I kind of living with my parents to make them happy, and yeah, I do want to make my parents happy, and I do want to be a good son, and sometimes I just kind of go along with the flow, and I'm used to going along with the flow, but I also like to carve my own river and my own path in life. And one of the things I did actually, looking back on it, was when I went to college, I didn't really research anything, because it's like my parents were like, can't afford this, and so I kind of just went with whatever my older sister did, which was great in one way, but I missed out on the opportunity to go to UW. Not that I don't like. I actually just met. This is one of the weird ways that life works. I met a cougar because I was wearing my Wazoo jersey, and he's living in Yokohama. So I'll see if I can hang out with him and see how that goes. But University of Washington actually had the better game design and digital art program, so I kind of should have checked that out. I mean, the issue was I didn't really know I liked digital art until I was actually in college. But yeah, or I could have researched DigiPen and really went towards a path I wanted, and that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm kind of doing my own thing and going towards what I want in life. And sometimes it doesn't pan out, and I think your parents try to protect you from that hurt, when that hurt is like a good hurt. So like my I always talk about this, but my esports career didn't really pan out, and I tried so hard, and I still try very hard. I'm pretty good at Apex, but it's one of those things where it's never really worked out, and I think your parents try to protect you from that failure. But I think it's one of those things where now I'm doing this video editing thing, and this is kind of it hurts when you try to follow a path and it doesn't work out, but I hate to be like very stereotypical. It'll work out in the end. So I got this tour guide job, and now I can kind of record videos and see what I can do with the tour guiding. And I've been doing more videos because I'm trying to lose that inner critic. I think that it not exactly lose the inner critic, but lessen the inner critic. I think the inner critic is important because it keeps you improving. One of the things I talk about when I'm hanging out with my friends, and I do have I do have some friends, both in real life and in the virtual spaces, is I think there are some content creators where I look at their content and it hasn't changed and it hasn't gotten any better, and I never want to be in that space. I think when you look at my drift videos and things like that, it's the result of constantly improving and criticizing and honestly comparing yourself to people who do better than you, which really damages your ego. And I've realized that it's good to have that inner critic, but it's also can hamper you from making fun sort of social media videos or even experimenting. So I've been trying to lessen that inner critic and just produce more and upload more. And I think I don't want to fall into, this is the thing where it's like I also don't want to fall into the trap of feeling like I have to produce content on a regular schedule because everyone else is just uploading. Oh, that was like a weird camera glitch. Uploading and uploading and uploading, but I always feel like I always feel like there's some element of quality that I want to hang on to. So I've been thinking about making other sorts of videos too. So like tech videos for business people and things like that. I have a bunch of ideas. It's just executing them is the issue. Lately, well, I actually do watch a bunch of podcasts. Not lately. I just all the time I try to watch a bunch of podcasts, but sometimes you get in podcast paralysis, where you listen to a bunch of podcasts, but then you don't take any action. But recently I was watching a podcast with one of the bigger tech YouTubers. I don't know what his name is. I'm not familiar with tech YouTubers, but his name is like MKHBD something. I don't know. I'll probably get, people will rage at me on YouTube for getting his name wrong, but he actually uses Google Calendar to organize his life, and I think he has an assistant now. But if someone that big is using a tool as simple as Google Calendar to help organize and manage their life, then it's probably good enough for me. So I think since I've been doing this tour guiding job, the one piece of feedback I gotten is my Japanese needs to improve, and that's something I've known for a while. Living here, it's hard to sit down and study when one, it feels like there's so much stuff that you're not making any progress. And then two, after work, you just want to play video games and hang out and that kind of thing. But it's one of those things where I think life is one of those things where you're always learning about yourself and discovering more and more about yourself. And I put myself in my own shoes at 16 or early in college, and I realized how much I loved anime and all this other stuff, and that's the reason that got me here. Sometimes you forget why are you here? How do you end up here? It's like it was your own decision, right? It's like that Shia LaBeouf meme. This is what you wanted, isn't it? This is what I wanted. So it's just finding a way to make study enjoyable. That will be the key for me, and blocking out a time. I think for me, I always want an optimized process, and if things aren't optimized, and I feel like if I don't know everything about a certain software or a certain, I need to watch tutorials, because then if I watch tutorials, I'll be doing it the optimal way. And like, I think as a video gamer, you always want to optimize a process, right? So even in League of Legends, when you learn to optimize your shopping, so the second you return to your recall, you already click where you want to go, and you can get all your shopping done before you leave the kind of space that the shop in. So we're always trying to do things that optimize our life. And I think for me as an optimizer, it holds me back from starting and doing things unoptimized, because sometimes you have to. And I'm finding this with my with my music production and my video editing. Sometimes you have to do things an unoptimized way, and then sometimes maybe by accident you'll learn about a tool, or you'll think about using this tool in a different way that saves you a bunch of time, and that just happens by using it. So I don't think it matters what kind of Japanese study I do, as long as I sit down and it's maybe after 10 at night, it's all Japanese. Or I had an idea of, as we know, that I want to be a VTuber, and I think with VTubing, I probably won't do it on this channel, because I learned, if my voice sounds familiar on a famous VTuber, keep it on the DL, because I learned that people like to not see your real face and associate, so they can pretend, and then it makes it easier for you to play that character and be more animated with your facial expressions, because VTubers are actors just like anybody else, right? Sometimes, in a sense, they're even moving more cartoony than an actor, because it's kind of like stage play. If you do subtle acting with your eyes, which is great in cinema, it won't carry across well with a VTuber. Now they can do subtle acting in terms of where they look and things like that, and it depends on their model. But as you know, I want to be a VTuber. Where was this rant going? I remembered where I was going with that side rant about a lot of my blog posts and a lot of my videos just tend to veer off course. But I think if you watch this channel, that's probably what you like about it, is just kind of a random assortment of things. But anyway, I thought of doing a channel that's completely in Japanese, and it's kind of cute because you could say Marco Channel, something like that, because it's like Marco-chan, so it could be Marco Channel, and that would be a VTuber. So maybe doing videos in Japanese, or even the process of me learning Japanese again, because I feel like I've been stuck on step 1.5 for 7 years. But yeah, so that's one of the feedbacks I got is, hey, you need to learn more Japanese. And I think just scheduling some time and actually doing it would just it would be one of those things where it doesn't feel like it's doing a lot until years down the line, because there's over 2,000 kanji that you need to learn to read a newspaper. Oh god, kanji. But see, kanji is kind of nice. I think I've gone on this kanji rant where it's like, it takes forever to learn kanji, but once you understand kanji, you can put so much information in such a kind of tight space. And then also it's pictographic, which is kind of cool. Some kanji make sense together, which is fun, but others not really. So yeah, I'm learning more about myself and what I need to do and progress. And I think another area I'm learning more about myself is so a lot of some of my older videos. One of my most popular videos is me kind of struggling with the gender identity thing, which is if I don't know, the technology were there, I'd totally do it. I think the technology is just not there for me yet, so I'm just comfortable now with just like, I just crossplay every now and then. It's just fun. And I actually don't like having a beard. It's just because I'm lazy. If I could do laser hair removal, I'd probably have a beard. But yeah, so I'm just kind of comfortable with that identity of being a little queer and weird. Honestly, I'd probably wear those those clothes more on a daily basis if it was more socially acceptable and not expensive and time consuming. It's also a gate to doing all that stuff. It's time consuming to put your face on every morning, Other than that, yeah, I think that's kind of what I wanted to say with this video. I just wanted to update you on why I haven't been able to produce a video and kind of the direction I want to take the channel and my life. Maybe there will be more scripted videos in the future. They seem to do pretty well, but I think at the end of the day, I just need to upload and create. And creators kind of get into that space where it's like, should I or should I not? And then with AI coming out, I'm like, oh God, I've invested all this time into drawing, and now there's AI drawings that make, and yeah, that's another topic for a different day. But thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, I just wanted to update you and say I haven't forgot about you. I just I've been busy, and at the end of the day, YouTube is just a hobby, and is a way for me to express myself and where I am. It would be kind of funny though if like 200 years from now, or 50 years from now after I died, it was like an Alan Wattsy sort of thing where people were like listening to my lectures. Welcome to my lecture today. This is really what it's like. It's more like a lecture. Maybe I should have more topics. If you have any topics for me, or any topics for me that you think you'd like to hear my input or like to hear me discuss, let me know. I'll make a video about it. But it's been great so far. This new year has been turning out for the better, and I'm hoping to keep going up. So peace.